Well, popular app TikTok will be prohibited in the US with Donald Trump signing an executive order banning transactions with the app's Chinese parent company.
Yeah, the president has also issued a similar ban on WeChat, saying America must take aggressive action in the interest of national security. Security expert Daniel Lukowitz joins us this morning. Daniel, what exactly do these executive orders mean?
Well, in very simple terms, both of those companies have been told that in 45 days they're going to be banned from doing business with the US. Now, one of them affects WeChat, which will certainly affect a lot of Chinese people who are the predominant users, but the other company, ByteDance, is the owner of TikTok, and in very simple terms, that means TikTok could be getting turned off in the US in a few weeks' time.
So there've obviously been lots of concerns over the safety of these apps, Daniel. Do you think we are likely to see similar bans on these apps carried out here in Australia?
Well, the Australian government's certainly been following this very closely, as have other Western nations. One of the biggest problems you've got is that the Communist Chinese Party have legislation in China that says they have access to all information of any Chinese business. So the bottom line is whatever information is held by those companies, and a lot of that's intently personal. It can be the location of your device, it can be videos that you post there, it can be messages and other things, can be held onto by the Communist Chinese government, which is potentially an intelligence threat and something that nations take very seriously.
Yeah. Do you think Aussie kids who predominantly use this app actually know that or are indeed concerned about it?
Well, in answer to the second question, no, they don't care. It really is as simple as that. But unfortunately, there's one thing that young people don't think about, and it's this. When you're young and when you post, videos of you doing stupid things online or, semi-naked selfies of yourself or prank hoax videos, it doesn't really matter. We all did stupid things when we were younger, but part of the problem with this, and this is something that we in the West don't appreciate, Asian and Middle Eastern nations frequently stage 100-year wars, so something stupid that you do now can come back to bite you much later on, and this is something that people need to consider. So I'll give you an example. In the US right now, there are celebrities and very influential people who are terribly worried that, for example, a photo of them in blackface from 30 years ago could resurface and see their whole career ended. So imagine if you did something stupid on TikTok now, and it doesn't mean anything now, but 20 years from now when you're a CEO or a politician or a celebrity and someone knocks on the door and says, hey, remember these embarrassing videos of yourself that you'd hate to see out there? Well, we now own you. And that's a very big problem from an intelligence point of view.
Because that could lead to all sorts of things. But the president is talking national security here. I mean, what are the risks that these apps pose to that?
Okay, well, researchers have determined that TikTok is doing a lot more than capturing videos of people dancing. The app itself tracks location details, it tracks all sorts of sensitive information, and potentially, again, through its relationships with the Communist Chinese Party, that could give access to other technology on your app, your emails, your files, your phone calls, your voice, and who knows what. Now, social media of all stripes has security and privacy implications attached to it. But when you add the overlay of the exposure to the Communist Chinese Party, that can create a significant risk that can represent a threat to national security. Once upon a time, foreign intelligence would have to send spies overseas, and it was a tremendously costly exercise. They'd have to live in communities and they'd have to gather information. Now they just have computers that hoover up this information, and we have hundreds of thousands of people who just give it away. And so we're actually making life potentially easy for people who would like to do harm to these countries. One of the other things that is also relevant to note is that as well as perhaps stealing information, which might not be something that people consider a threat, these organisations are also very good at steering political narratives, not only by pushing certain things to the front, but also censoring other information online. So it's not uncommon that you might see, for example, anti-police rhetoric or Black Lives Matter material which leads to violent protests and so forth. Whereas if you saw something there about, say, the Chinese role in coronavirus or the Chinese role in what's happening in Hong Kong or anything about the Tiananmen Square massacre, that'll disappear from the platform very quickly. So you can see how foreign nations can use technology like this to actually divide a society, and that's a problem.
We just thought it was, silly dancing. There's a lot more to it. Thank you very much, Daniel.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you dissecting that for us. Really interesting stuff.